It started with a faint hiss, barely audible over the wind. One tire at first, then another, then nothing. When I opened the front door, the damage was already done. For tires flattened, the garden torn apart like someone had stomped through it on purpose, dragging something sharp. The flower beds were shredded, soil upturned in gaping wounds. I stood there barefoot, the cold of the concrete leaching into my bones. This wasn't random. It was personal. A message, sent loud and clear. I already knew who was behind it. Not her. She didn't have the imagination for something like this. But the brute she married? He was all aggression, all chest-pounding and empty dominance. A man who thought being feared was the same as being respected. She once called him a real man when I questioned why he kept hovering around my property. Men will be men, she had said with that thin, mocking smile. It wasn't an answer. It was a warning disguised as condescension. I didn't call the police. I didn't post about it. I went back inside, sat in the dark, and waited for my anger to settle into something colder, something useful. I hadn't spoken to her since the divorce, not after the papers turned to ash in my fire pit. But him? He was always there, just out of reach. First it was scratches along my car, then nails in the driveway, once even a dead squirrel stuffed into my mailbox. Childish. Petty. But this was different. For tires slashed and my garden wrecked, that was an escalation. It wasn't about the car. It was about territory. He was marking it, staking his fragile pride like a dog on its last nerve. I was, in his mind, a threat, not because I'd done anything, but because I didn't react the way he wanted. That kind of man doesn't know what to do when you don't flinch. I confronted her once. Calmly. You might want to rein him in, I said. She'd laughed. He's a man. You wouldn't understand. Oh, but I did. Too well. She thought she'd found safety in someone loud and forceful, not realizing that force without control is just another kind of prison. I didn't push it, didn't argue, didn't warn. You don't warn termites. You fumigate. The next day, I installed cameras. Not the kind you find in hardware stores. Professional grade, discreet. One nestled in the hedge. Another aimed from the upstairs bedroom. One more, hidden inside a garden ornament. Then I waited. 2 quiet weeks passed. Then, one night at 3:14 a.m., the motion alert buzzed. I played the footage back, heart steady. There he was, hulking, shoulders hunched, sneaking toward my driveway like a kid playing at war. He knelt beside the car and pulled something long and sharp from his pocket. A nail. I paused the frame. His face clear, his grin unmistakable. I downloaded the video, dropped it on a flash drive, and sealed it in a red envelope. Then I dug a hole in the garden, a deep, precise trench, and placed a wooden board inside, embedded with nails, smeared with something thick and harmless but sticky. Paint, mostly. Enough to embarrass. Enough to leave a mark. Then I covered it back up with dirt and leaves. I didn't have to wait long. At 3:38 a.m., a scream tore through the stillness, raw, animal, piercing. I took my time, made coffee, slipped into a robe. When I opened the door, he was sprawled on the ground, clutching his foot like it had betrayed him. Blood leaked through his sock. One shoe lay halfway down the lawn. He looked up at me, eyes wide, like I might help. I sipped my coffee. Didn't say a word. She showed up 10 minutes later, barefoot in her nightgown, the lawn damp beneath her. She saw the blood, the trap, the wiring, and froze. "What did you do?" she asked, voice hollow. I tossed the envelope toward her feet. "Watch that," I said, then asked him what he did. She didn't pick it up right away. Just stared, first at him, then at me. Something inside her shifted. Not grief, not guilt, just the quiet collapse of the illusion she'd built around herself. I didn't need to call the police. He limped to his car, dragging shame and blood behind him. She followed, silent. I watched them go. Then I reset the trap, reburied the nails, checked the camera feed. 2 days later, she messaged me. I didn't know it had gotten that bad. "I'm sorry." I didn't respond. A week later, another message. "Are you okay?" Still silence. She got the message eventually. She moved out 2 weeks after that. Left him. Didn't tell me. But word travels in a small town, especially when blood stains the pavement. My tires stayed fine after that. The garden bloomed again. Quiet, ordered, undisturbed. He limped for the rest of the summer. I didn't take joy in it. This wasn't about revenge. It was about equilibrium. Some people fight with fists, others with noise. I wait. I build. And I don't act until I've already won. She thought I was the problem, but I was never the threat. I was just a reckoning.